When it started, there we go. Perfect. Well, welcome everybody. This is our Dynamics user group for essentially our enterprise users. So very excited to have you here today, and we'll see more people joining in progress. I'm Nancie Calder. I am the Global CRM Practice Lead at Avanade, a partner in the channel, been in Dynamics for quite some time. And my partners in crime here today include Rick McCutcheon. Rick, do you want to introduce yourself? You're off screen.
I'm here. Hello, everybody. Rick McCutcheon. I'm helping Nancie organize this enterprise meetup. And we're a small crowd today, but we're brand new. Kind of our second meeting. So by the end of the year, we'll have hundreds on this meeting, right, Liz?
That's right. Invite your friends.
Okay.
Invite your friends.
Invite your friends and colleagues.
Even if you don't like people, invite them.
Invite them to a different meeting, Rick. That's what you got to do.
Yeah. And Tanya, you've been helping with us. Do you want to introduce yourself?
For sure. And sorry for the late meetup. I just had some technical issues, of course, but I'm Tanya Tygesen. I work for a company called SS&C, and it's a global fintech company. And I've known Rick and Nancie for eons, and Vanda, new to Vanda, for eons in this industry. So we just put our heads together and thought we'd like to collaborate with each other, as well as share some information that we keep on building on. And I'm really excited to participate in this going forward, but I'm here to support, and I'll be presenting next month. So I'm really excited for this series.
Well, Liz, do you want to say anything?
Just hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Liz Hallen. I'm the VP here at Dynamics User Groups. Very excited, and a huge thanks to our leaders for bringing everybody together and to continuing to offer this awesome content for our enterprise customers and partners in the channel. So welcome.
Great. Vanda's running the show for us today, letting people in, monitoring the chat. Do you want to introduce yourself, Vanda?
Okay, so good afternoon. I'm Vanda. I'm a business analyst, and I've been working with Dynamics for seems like forever, a good 9-10 years. And I'm thrilled to be part of this. Our reach is more than just North America. So I'm over here waving a flag from Spain. And we very much want this to be a share and a community experience for all of the Dynamics people across as many continents as we can manage, I think. So I'm going to be monitoring the chat. And any issues, anyone experiencing any issues, please just ping in the chat, and I'll do my best to leap on and help. Those that have just joined, we are recording the session, and yeah, I'll team up with you a bit later. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay, so how we're going to run, it'll essentially be the next hour or so. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the Dynamics user group itself, some of the opportunities for you to take advantage of. So I want to share a bit of information. Then we thought we'd talk a little bit of, some of you are new to this meetup. So what is it all about? Let's spend a little bit to talk about that. We'll have our main presentation today. Then we'll do a roundtable. Are there, topics that you want to talk about? This is a brain trust of people who work in the enterprise space delivering Dynamics. So what's on your mind? Do you have problems that you want to solve? That kind of thing. Then Tanya's going to take the helm and talk a little bit about a poll that we want to run, because this is a community, and we really want to hear what you have to say about what you want to hear and what you want to talk about. So let's have this community help set the agenda for our future meetings, and then we'll talk a little bit about what's coming next. So, who is the Dynamics user group? Been around since 1995, as you can see here, and it's expanded broadly, and it covers Dynamics end to end. I often talk to people about Dynamics, and I'm referring to CRM. other people talk about Dynamics, they're referring to AX or Business Central and the Power Platform. This community of Dynamics User Group covers all of it, and it's free. It's a great place for us to come together and, as I said, collaborate with each other and continue to grow through the various programs that Doug runs, building this community, encouraging us to connect and empowering various education aspects. And it's fabulous to see we have 42,000 community members and growing, right, Liz? I'm sure it's growing.
It is actually. I need to update my slide because I was just looking earlier this week, and now we are up to 44,000 community members worldwide. So yes, we are definitely growing, and I love to see all the growth. Thanks to all of you.
Okay, and there's a number of different ways to interact with Doug. As I mentioned, it covers all of the Dynamics ERP solutions, plus the CRM one and the Power Platform. And you can engage with Doug in many of these different forums through the forums, the conferences, etc. This particular way of engaging is through the Meetup program. And generally the meetups, you probably have meetups locally to you in a geographic way. This one is, as Vanda said earlier, across geographies. We'd like to bring together people across the globe. I think last time we were here, we had somebody from Singapore. So, definitely looking for global perspectives. And the DynamicsCon event, both in person and virtual, great conferences. We're going to, I'm going to talk in a little bit about the conference that's coming up, and let's talk a little bit about the regional meetups. As I said, if you're close to any of these centers, I'm close to Toronto, so looking forward to that event in August. Hopefully it doesn't conflict with my trip to Edinburgh, but we'll, these will continue, and we're always looking for people to help sponsor and start up local chapters in your geography. So I'm sure Liz would be happy to talk to you about that as necessary. So we did, for those of you that were here, we started to talk about the big event that's coming for us in May at the Denver Marriott Tech Center. Very excited about this event. Again, crosses all the platform. Rick and I will be there hosting a panel on AI governance. And Rick will probably have some, I don't know, Rick, if you want to plug any of the other sessions you'll be doing. I'll be doing a Women in Technology one as well. But yeah, please try to find a way to join us there. It'll be a great in-person event. Lots of people trying to rub the dust off and get out of the bad habits we got into doing everything online when we were in COVID. So great to have this. I think this is the second year that we've had this in person. So since COVID.
I think it's the fourth year.
Fourth year since COVID? Okay, you guys are way ahead of me. Thanks.
And for those who haven't been, it is a barrel of fun.
And if you want to go, we have a promo code available to you. You can see here in the top left corner, the Meetup 15 will get you a 15% discount. And there's hotels and shuttles from nearby hotels, so lots of time for you to still get your space. This is a sister event that takes place in Europe. I know, Rick, you've been there. I can see one of my Avanade colleagues here is dressed up as the wizard, Guru Fowler. She's a great person to get to know. So I think that's a wonderful event. I've never had the opportunity to be there in person, but one of these days we'll try to make it there. Rick, you've been there, right?
No, actually, it was the same week last year as DynamicsCon. So it's 2 weeks after DynamicsCon. So if you go to DynamicsCon Live, you have a week to recover, get on a plane, and head to Slovenia. And this is also, I'm going to say, a big barrel of fun. So it's a couple of good events coming up.
Cool. And we still have a virtual event, which I think just this month, Liz, remind me, they've opened up the, if you want to put in for a session at the virtual event, this is the month to start submitting that.
Yes, we just opened session submissions this past Monday. So session submissions is open. We are all about gathering ideas and content from our community. And what's really awesome and unique about this virtual event is that it's free. It's a whole day.
Went on mute, Liz.
I did accidentally hit my mute button. All the content is selected by the community by way of voting. So when our submission of sessions closes, all of you will get to vote on your favorite sessions, and those will be the ones that you get to see on the agenda, which will be held in November.
Cool. For the community, by the community. Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so we've covered off some news. Let's talk about why are we here today? What is this meetup even about? Did you have something you wanted to add, Vanda?
Just that Daniel posted in the chat, what language will be the primary delivery language? I think Liz has just answered that. It'll be English for the Slovenia event. Yeah. Thanks, Liz.
Okay, so what is this enterprise community all about? Why are we here today? Well, we're here because we're professionals in Dynamics and or the Power Platform. We're here because we want to drive an evolution in solutions and excellence in solutions. Either if we're a partner with our clients or if we're a customer, we want to drive that evolution and excellence and overall success for the end people that are using the solution to help them achieve their KPIs and help their day-to-day lives, because they're using this tool as as something to help them do their job. So it's important to make sure we get it right. And essentially, this meetup is a platform for our community. We think that the content's going to be most suited to those who have generally 100 users in the solution that they're either bringing to their customer or in their organization. We're going to cover various things like implementation success. How do you even get started in Dynamics, and how do you take it live? And then in an ongoing way, we know that Dynamics is continuously changing. The launch event for CRM is happening next week. We're going to continue to see 2 waves a year. So, how do we help clients, and how do we as a customer manage that? Adoption is a very key part of this meetup to continue to talk about that. We want to talk about global topics as well. Global in that you might be part of a global organization and you have to handle localizations, whether it be currency or language or just differences in business process. So we want to be able to talk about that. And then do a little bit of, looking at helping this group understand, a little bit of what's coming on the roadmap and how do you navigate that to set up for success. So who is the typical audience? Business analysts, project managers, solution architects, project management type people, organizational change people, and then just overall business decision makers. And really, it's probably not the right place for you if you're here to discuss why is your system having a huge performance problem because you set up a plugin in a certain way. That would be probably something a very technical audience would describe. We're probably not going to get into really deep product feature discussions or really deep product roadmap discussions. I mean, we want to understand the roadmap and what's announced so that we know how to implement those things, but we're not going to get into why or why not or Microsoft fixing or doing these particular features. So why would I even attend these meetings? This is this meetup is really focused on driving success, delivering excellence, So, it's the members here should be committed to sharing knowledge and strategies related to Dynamics. It's about innovation, and in fact, sometimes a center of excellence may be referred to as an innovation hub. People often think about it's a brain trust of where the new people who are learning the new technology. Hello. Gail, do you mind going on mute? We can hear you.
No paso.
Oh, Benda, is it possible to mute Gail?
Yeah, let me just find.
Just pause for there we go. Yep, all good.
Okay.
So, we have various, think about thought leadership problems. So like all of these things are really, when we dive into the Center of Excellence, we're creating a mini Center of Excellence ourselves here to help share knowledge and be leaders in our community. So I hope that you see that this is of great benefit to attend these meetups on a regular basis, where we can continue to evolve each other's thinking and learning, and bring the best of Dynamics to our organizations or our customers. So, without further ado, I'm going to continue on. I'm going to be the first presenter here and talk about the Center of Excellence. So I introduced myself as the global CRM lead. In my previous role that I had for probably 2 years, I was the Center of Excellence lead for CRM at Avanade. So I have a fair bit of experience building and growing Center of Excellence, and would be happy to discuss details of that with anybody. We can talk about it here today or offline, but I really want to help you understand what a Center of Excellence is and how it will drive success in your organization. So by way of an agenda to this presentation, we're going to talk a little bit about the Center of Excellence, understand what it is and what its components are. And then I do want to recognize that we may have customers and partners attending today. So how and why is it a little bit different to run a Center of Excellence as a customer or partner? And then we'll do a wrap up and have an open opportunity to ask questions. So what is a Center of Excellence and why is it important? I'd like to, set the stage on our discussion here by thinking about an example of, if you could imagine you're a CEO and you have a growing company and you recently, signed something with Microsoft, maybe an enterprise agreement because you're investing in Dynamics, because you want to streamline your operations. And you know that it's very powerful, but how are you going to unlock all of those capabilities? You're going to be faced with all kinds of different challenges. We see adoption as a big challenge often, as a blocker to maximize the potential value coming out of Dynamics or Power Platform. So just imagine if you were that person, and what would you be able to do? So let's talk about how we might help that persona of a CEO, and we want to learn about why is it important to establish this, to address those challenges and drive the success in the organization. A Center of Excellence in general, it's not a PMO. People often think it's a PMO or it's a governance structure. As I alluded to, it's a little bit like an innovation hub. It's typically a specialized team or group within the organization that's dedicated to success. So, Microsoft loves to ensure that we have success at our clients through their customer success program. But this is another layer that partners can add on, as well as customers themselves, so that they can monitor adoption, as I said, take on the new releases from Microsoft and look at the ongoing management. Some of the, the basics of a COE is to, drive excellence. You're going to hear that over and over again. We want to make sure that everybody is aligned, and there's a central group that if you need help, or the group champions the use of Dynamics in an organization.
Hey, Nancie,
So that's,
I have
yep.
a question for you.
Sure.
How have you seen companies funding COEs? Are you seeing that on a regular basis, where they say we are going to actually put forth an investment to develop a COE, bring a cross-functional group of people in, and be able to drive that? Or do you find that a lot of companies have been reluctant to do that in the absence of potentially maybe seeing a really hard ROI on that?
Yeah, I mean, from a customer perspective, it probably depends if they have innovation in their DNA,
Yeah.
so that they, it's how do I unlock the innovation to drive success and benefits into my organization? So that's how they would see the ROI, perhaps. If they've had failures, or they're having adoption challenges, this is one of the things that we would recommend. I'm meeting with a client here at the top of the hour because they're having an adoption problem with CRM. It's so prevalent in our world, right? So, and it doesn't have to be really costly. Like, it could be 1 or 2 people to start.
Right.
It just depends on how big the organization is. I mean, some people might do it on the side, as we call them, plus ones, right? You might be a group of people. We have a group within Avanade for Copilot. They formed their own Copilot club, and they'll be the center of excellence for Copilot for the next little while, in addition to some other formal ones that we have.
That makes
Does that
sense.
make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Thank you.
No problem. So, what would be the objectives of a COE? What are the benefits, and what's the role? So again, we think about that CEO in the organization, putting together a group of those passionate people. Like I said, the Copilot Club or the Dynamics Club, like, people get really excited about it. In our world, and I don't know how many of you are here from CRM, but trying to get when we do a migration from Salesforce to CRM, trying to get the Salesforce people passionate and excited about supporting the CRM solution, that would be a really good thing to set up a center of excellence and help them build that brain trust on the platform. So we want, we see a CEO set up this and defines a mission. And the mission of the COE is to empower the users, optimize the processes in the organization, and drive innovation. So, we often talk, when I was in the COE, even today, we talk about, where is the organization on their maturity in the use of the platform? Are they very, very basic and just using basic features? And if we move them up the curve with a little bit more innovation, could they start getting more and more benefits out of the platform? So again, this group is the CEO is setting up this group. You asked Russ about the ROI on it. So they're assuming that they're going to pave the way for success and actually deliver on the benefits and the outcomes, the savings. If it's a contact center, how do I get my call deflection reduced? How do I get my average handle time down? Those are all the things that the Center of Excellence will help the end organization with. So, overall objectives facilitate the success. You're going to hear that over and over again. So you'll come away understanding COEs drive success. That's the big message that I'm leaving. Drive user adoption, having that group of champions and a go-to, like I know in our world, I have a global role, and our Center of Excellence as a partner serves our various geographies. So if our Scottish or UK organization wasn't familiar with field service because it was a new technology, or Copilot because it was a new technology, we would have the people in the COE upskill so that we can help the Scottish office deliver their project that they might have on field service or Copilot. The other thing that the COE does with varying levels of success is establishing guidelines and best practices for implementation. That's it's not the governance. It's not a governance body in and of itself, but it can help bring the governance. And depending on how the organization is structured, the enforcement of some of those activities may sit outside of the COE. The COE fosters innovation. I know in my world, we continuously work with the product engineering team at Microsoft. We stand up all kinds of demos of preview features. We're known to be the organization that puts all the bells and whistles together, so that if a region needs to demo something, we have it available for them to demo, to show a client how it might work. And the same would be true for a customer. If you wanted to help a division of your organization take up a new feature, being able to show it to them, a picture is always gives more of an understanding than words, right? Picture's worth 1,000 words. So being able to show and tell, I'm sure I'm not preaching to the choir here. You guys know what that is. And the benefits goes back to that ROI, being able to unlock the value that you're expecting with user adoption is how you fund this. The other way, as I said, is, excuse me, sorry, I'm suffering from a cold. If you're an organization that's known to be innovative, we work with a number of innovative organizations, particularly, I'd say, out of the German region. They just, like, that's how they come to market. They come to market as being innovative, so they want to drive that innovation internally in their organization. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. I'll try to move on. I think I talked about everything on here, so let's talk about what's in the COE, and that'll help you think about what it is versus what it's not. And it always comes down to people's and process, and then tools and knowledge. So to set up a COE, it's about finding the right people. It's a certain type of person that really works well in the center of excellence. It's a certain mindset. It's probably not somebody who doesn't embrace a growth mindset. They have to be prepared for things not going right. They want to be on the front end of continuous change, and really there's a certain type of person that always likes to help others, and I think that's some of the key traits of people that I would bring into a center of excellence. The center of excellence, in terms of processes, in my world, we have specific methodologies that we use for delivering dynamics. So we continuously update that methodology based on feedback from our regions and based on what's happening with the new feature sets. Copilot wasn't anywhere in our methodology before, so now we're adding that in so that we can help ensure consistency among, if you're a customer, it would be consistency across the various divisions of your organization. For us, it's consistency across the different geographies that deliver solutions at Avanade. The Center of Excellence creates a set of tools. You might find some kind of ticketing system or request for people for their time and their resources. The Center of Excellence should be seen as the top-notch people within your organization that other people want to get help from. So often that means they get a lot of requests, and you need a tool to actually support handling those requests to make sure that the people don't get overloaded. And then lastly, having a place to share knowledge. Center of Excellence, again, in my world, we have what we call community of practice. So our Center of Excellence people lead the communities of practice and run ongoing sessions to educate, to share project successes, to share like our community we have here, the Meetup. We run the same kind of thing. Our Center of Excellence leads that, and we would, we have a Meetup on field service. We have a Meetup on supply chain. We have a Meetup on contact center, those types of things, and people that are interested throughout the organization to learn more about that or share their experiences come to that forum to share knowledge and get acquainted with others that are doing similar work. So that's a high-level understanding of some of the components. Hope that gave you some ideas of what a Center of Excellence would do, and foreshadowing a little bit of some of the topics that we should have. So what's the difference between customer and partner COEs? Well, customers are focused on their internal users. It's probably the IT part of the organization that sets this up. Doesn't mean that it couldn't be a collaboration with some business stakeholders. I think that would be an awesome idea. The Center of Excellence from a partner is hyper focused on making sure customers are successful. That, it's internal versus external view. The customer COE is focused on the business goals, and the partner COE is more on delivering high quality solutions and helping customers through the issues that they're having. I mean, it's not that the customer one is not doing something to solve solutions, but there's a bit of a difference probably in some of the imperatives. It's not really too different, but there can be some difference. So in terms of, what have you learned today about a Center of Excellence? It's got many parts to it. Adoption is key. The incubation of innovation is key. Driving overall success, getting to the benefits that the platform has. If we go back and we think about that CEO and why the CEO would set this up, it's time to market and value and getting return on investment in their Dynamics and their Power Platform solution. So next steps for implementing it. Happy to have more discussion. It could be, the next topic. We didn't want to drain these sessions with lots of talking, so sort of split this up. If you want to talk about it in more detail, we could do it as one of these topics, or we could do it offline, whatever this group may like. So I'll stop there and see what questions we might have. I haven't seen any of the chat, so I don't know if anything's happened in the chat, but feel free to come off mute and ask questions.
Nothing in the chat at the moment, so if participants want to come off mute and join in, yeah.
I think maybe Nancie, it'd be interesting to hear from the attendees if anybody is already set up or working on a COE.
Yeah, awesome. Anybody want to share?
If I can just comment on something too, Nancie.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me okay? I'm having interesting Zoom
Yeah, we can hear you. You're
messages. Good. Okay. So just for this group, and I think you're with Avanade, big company, lots of room for a Center of Excellence. But what I see this group becoming the Center of Excellence for people that don't have a Center of Excellence, right? Mm-hmm. I may be, managing a few hundred salespeople, and I've got a small team, and really we are the Center of Excellence. So hopefully this group can expand to a point where there's chat. You're going to meet other like people. And, we got partners and customers, and hopefully customers will meet each other and say, hey, why don't we do our little sidebar group here and become our own center of excellence? So I think the theme center of excellence is, what this group is all about, but I think it's going to take shape as we expand it.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. What does the group think? Do you guys agree? I can't see everybody, so hopefully that's generally yes.
Daniel agrees.
Hi,
Right.
this is Madan here. Just a
Hey
couple
there.
of questions follow up to what Rick said. So first thing, right, like this is my second meeting I'm attending. So last time we discussed about the scope of the Dynamics 365 because it has evolved over the years. And so what are we going to cover within that? Because is it more of customer engagement or the ERP? And now if you see that it has got well expanded into AI and Fabric, there are so many changes is coming up. So what are we focusing on when we say Dynamics 365 Center of Excellence? So that we can definitely think and discuss in the next step. That is one. And second, as part of having this Center of Excellence getting implemented, right, are we going to come up with some collaterals or anything to share with them? Because like we can have the sessions, but definitely are there anything that we are going to prepare and then share with the rest of the wider community? So these are my two clarifications. Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are great questions. Yes, when we met last time, it was predominantly people from customer engagement. So I think this group was intended to cover all of Dynamics and Power Platform. And we're not going to talk too much on product specific things. So we should be able to, welcome anybody from any part of the platform. And then with respect to your second question, the intention very much is to create some resources. If you noticed in the Center of Excellence, we should have a resource hub, and that's why we decided to record this session. We'll make the deck available, and as we continue to meet together, we can decide on what types of content we may or may not want to create, and make that available back to the group. Sometimes it's as simple as sharing some links to places that you might want to read about blogs or blogs from Microsoft that you've read and you want to share with the group. So it doesn't have to be stuff that we create ourselves. We can be pointing to content and other that's been created by others. Just a place to share.
Hi.
I'm sorry.
Sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have my video on. My camera's not working right today, and I apologize for that. So when we talk about everybody who's here and included in the Center of Excellence, is there a way in that resources file or folder to put like, this is my name, and these are kind of the things that I am certified or specialize in, so that if we need to reach out to somebody for some sort of help, like I'm ProSci certified in change management and training. So if somebody was having a problem with user adoption, somebody could reach out and say, hey, I'm having this trouble. Can I talk to you about it? Or can we kind of like collaborate to figure out some ideas? Is there something that we can create that says who the members are, maybe what areas of expertise that they have, so that we know who we can reach out to for something like that?
See, why not? As long as, if you're open to, we don't want it to become that we're selling to each other, but we certainly, can share content and information about ourselves if we so choose. I don't think you have to, as a member, do that, but certainly if you want to, then that would make sense.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah.
I was going to suggest, Nancie, as I contemplate some of what you're thinking, and just based upon prior experiences, I think one of the biggest challenges for organizations that are trying to embrace a Center of Excellence is where there's friction between what is a standard versus what is more specific to a region or localization. And I found, providing, guiding artifacts can be incredibly helpful to say, hey, here's the stuff that's below the line that's actually standard. Here's the stuff that's above the line where you have some level of autonomy, and providing parameters and guidelines around that. And I'm not sure, do you at this point, or are you suggesting, hey, let's all collectively band together and put an inventory of tools in, artifacts, say, here's standard email templates, here's standard change management strategy, project management strategy. Like, how do we cultivate that tool set that actually can be shared in a way that would be more meaningful?
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I mean, that's I'd love to see us get there. I think we got to do some baby steps. We got to educate people. But I think those are great ideas. I mean, if the large enterprises definitely need help around, this is kind of your global template, and then here's how you go about rolling it out to different regions and handle the differences in the regions. So, will we get down to creating email templates, that sort of thing? I don't know. I don't know how relevant that would be to everybody.
It's an interesting question in terms of what's the inventory of tools that can be prepared such that others can leverage them. And maybe it starts, like you said, like a baby step by saying, hey, let's just put together an outline, straw man. Hey, here are the components. Here's maybe analysis tools. Here's email templates. Here is facilitation deck, stuff like that. I don't know if that resonates with you in the group.
I mean, maybe start to create a best practice library that we could all contribute to. Like, here's the stuff that I'm using that works really well. I think that would make sense. Yeah.
I'm thinking, that might be just to really kind of, put real meat on the bones with regard to this initiative. I think it's a fantastic concept to be able to say, hey, how do you actually develop a center of excellence, and then to provide sample template tools along those lines, which is a concerted effort, but boy, that might really add some value.
I think if we can keep it simple, and it's, links, or, if we don't have to create a whole bunch of content other than using GPT to create our content, then I don't know that people want to, I'm happy if somebody wants to take, and do some heavy lifting on these things. I think that would be great. We could, take a subgroup, and I think we've got to build a mass, though, in terms of a bigger population here to take on some of those bigger topics.
Makes sense.
Anybody have anything else on their mind that they want to talk about? Anybody need any help with their implementations?
This is Cynthia Adkins, and as I listened to the presentation, this is my first time attending. Thank you for hosting this.
For attending.
Some of the challenges I face as a manager that supports our Dynamics 365 platform, best practices on staffing to support the platform. So if there's any information that we can share that say, if you have this much of a user base or this many instances, that's appropriate to have 2 developers, 1 admin, things like that. I have hard time finding published information for the Dynamics platform. I've seen it for the Salesforce platform, which helps when trying to justify staffing at my organization. I don't know if that's something appropriate for this particular group, but another challenge.
I think that makes a lot of sense. We could, have a look at that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Another challenge.
Go ahead, Tanya.
Another challenge I face repeatedly is we get new leadership in, executive leadership, and they want to bring Salesforce in. I don't know if that's, I've now been in my position for 5 years. I've dealt with our CRM for probably 10 years now. And it seems like every 2 years I'm having to justify why we should stay on Dynamics 365 versus switching everything to a brand new platform. And we have a pretty large implementation. And often it's a salesperson that comes in and wants to do Salesforce because that's what they're familiar with, but not realizing that we also have this platform and used in customer service and marketing communications and all kinds of different areas. So undoing it is a large endeavor.
I'm sure we could get you some content fairly easily. We just have to ask the right people at Microsoft, and we can get some good content for you to help defend.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a challenge that is faced by the community in general. But it's
Yeah, I
Yes,
see
we
it a
see it a
lot.
lot.
I see it a lot. And I always think that Salesforce just has much better marketing on their CRM than Microsoft ever has. And so it's the locker room talk, I call it. Like somebody's talking to somebody about this is the better CRM, but it's not really justified. But I
right.
think it's just about marketing, frankly, and they have a very hungry, dedicated sales force. So they're always going to be in everybody's accounts, and somehow they know all of the Microsoft accounts. So
I asked once it's a personal friend, was a sales executive, and they use Salesforce in their organization. And I said, like, why everything else you do is Microsoft? Why Salesforce? And he said, it's in the name. Like, I use it for my Salesforce. It's
Yeah.
Salesforce. So
Mhm.
the branding is just it's a constant topic that we have to help organizations understand the value of the platform versus the point Salesforce. So yes, Cynthia, I'm sure we could find you some information. We can pull on some Microsoft people to help there to put that up. We'll find some kind of central site to post that. That should be pretty easy.
I think your ideas with bringing in the wave 1 information and things like that, wave 2 information, that will be helpful. I know it's easier for me to digest out of a webinar than trying to read the wave 1 documents that come out. So if you can bring that to this group, that would be super helpful.
How we do it, right? How we digest it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I was trying to think of something else. It'll come back to me, but thank you for the opportunity.
Okay. Yep, no problem.
Cynthia, can I just ask you a quick question?
Sure.
What's the size of your firm? How many users?
We've got almost 300 on the customer service enterprise, and we've got close to 100 on the sales licenses.
So do you have a center of influence set up at your organization?
So prior to COVID, we had kind of a super user group, right? So we had a group of those users identified that could champion the product. But that was probably 5 years ago, and COVID happened, as well as quite a bit of turnover. So we've lost some of those super users and the momentum for that group. So we've had it in the past. Sounds like we need to revive it and identify some new champions.
Yeah. And then as far as a center of excellence, have you guys set anything up like Nancie's talked about? Have you gone into this program and actually used these tools?
So using are you talking about, I'm sorry.
So Microsoft's like the Power Platform Center of Excellence, like these are actual tools. Do you guys use those at your organization?
So I had a developer within the last year setting that up. They do have it set up in one of our environments. We are just starting to evaluate what's in there and look at the reports that it gives and things like that. So we're starting in that path, but it as someone asked, how do you finance that stuff? Unfortunately, I have a developer that's doing it on the side, right? When they have time. And as you know, it falls in priority, right? So it's hard to get the priority to allot the time to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So Nancie, in your former role in the Center of Excellence lead and whatnot, how did you overcome some of those justifications or those we can't really put dollars on it or time on it? How did you overcome those?
It starts with much what like Cynthia was saying, that's what I was trying to get at with the Copilot Studio or Copilot group that's just been set up organically. Like nobody set it up. This group of people just came together, right? And you start to leverage those, people that are doing it as side activities and start to prove the value of how they can help the organization unlock, like I said, with the CEO. The CEO is the why, right? So how do we how do we get people stood up who are passionate about it and do it as a side gig to start with. And then once you start getting the value, we had less than 10 people in our COE.
Okay.
So lean and mean.
Absolutely.
Hyper focused. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. All
Okay,
right.
well, that's a great conversation. Let's look at what's next. Tanya, do you want to take
Yeah,
this?
for
Okay,
sure.
and I'll drive the
Absolutely.
screen for you. Yep.
Thank you. And what we'd like to do is, so we already have a plan for May. We want to talk a little bit about Copilot and AI and just sort of just kind of like, again, introduce it, make sure everyone is, you know, understanding what's ahead of us and so on. So May, we're going to talk about Copilot and AI. June, we've already thought that we'd like to cover governance in the AI era, but we're absolutely open to topics. So I'm going to put a link in the chat to everybody to go and if you wouldn't mind just taking the brief survey or a poll that we have just to help us form some of the future topics. And there's an area that you can just write in for suggestions. You don't have to do it right now, but at some point, if you could take a few minutes and give us some feedback, we definitely want to keep this as a monthly cadence. And so we'll keep filling the months, but we want to make sure that we're addressing topics that are really timely and of interest to the team here and the audience. And then, you know, as we said before, this will grow. We want it to be bigger and we want it to be better. So we really appreciate you sharing this with your colleagues and your friends and so on, so that we can start to grow the footprint here. So, so if you haven't had a chance to grab that link, please grab the link. Zoom doesn't let you keep it, so you'll have to copy it. Okay.
I can always circulate it afterwards, Tanya, when we escape the recording. We can also circulate the
Yeah. Thank you, Vanda.
And we're definitely, you know, looking not only for topics that you'd like somebody to talk about, you know, we don't want it to be just us speaking. We'd love to have you or, you know, people, you know, like maybe you know somebody that would do a really great talk on integrating software. So, you know, we'd love you to suggest speakers and topics.
Yep, I have a guest speaker joining me in May for all things AI and Copilot. So we can do guest speakers, we can do panels, we can do lots of ways to present this information, as long as the online format works for it. So at this point, right? And again, and eventually I'd love to see us participating in some of the in-person meetups as well, right? So having some dedicated enterprise sessions there.
Okay, well, we did it within the hour. So those of you who are planning to stay for an hour and a half, you get 30 minutes back to your day to go and do some other fun things. So we're yeah, I did it right. We are back on May 2nd, 9 a.m. Pacific time. So that's noon Eastern, and you can adjust from there based on whatever time zone you're in here overseas. I think I know them all now because I have a global role. I can calculate it pretty quickly, but anyway, 9 a.m. Pacific time. And Tanya will be running that session. So yeah, look forward to that.
Thanks.
And if you need to reach out to any of us, you know how to find us. You can reach out to us on LinkedIn. I'm happy to have continued dialogue, and yeah, we'll plan to try to keep the similar type of format where we do some news at the beginning, just, you know, level set on what we're trying to do, have the presentation, and then have this open discussion, and just keep it going from there and get the ideas flowing. And yeah, let's try and get as much done as soon as we can.
And if you're heading to Denver in May, make sure you look up Nancie and Rick and say hi.
Perfect.
That's great. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, take care.
Have a wonderful
Great
day. Take care.
Thank you.